Everything louder than everything else. Everything louder than Ah! What the hell was that, Jim?
Hey, Starch.
God, what is that? Am I having another stroke?
No. It's just a special effect in commemoration of today's movie. I am so excited for this.
Mega Piranha? Really?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be great. Roadhouse great.
That's all well and good, but where's that caption thing coming from?
This little beauty right here. Woohoo! Man, I haven't even begun to play with all the features this thing has. Thank you, mysterious junk shop I never found again.
Just so long as you don't go around reenacting Click.
Really, Starch? An Adam Sandler film? That hurts.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll find wholly new and original ways to ruin lives and ultimately self-destruct with your god remote.
Damn right.
So, killer fish movie?
Damn right.
Okay. Well then, that's Sunny Jim, I'm Skeptical, and this is Rangoon Reviews. Unless you've somehow avoided the entire internet over the last year or so, you know about the Asylum, or at least you know about one of their movies. The Asylum basically makes two kinds of films. The first are horror beast attacks people movies, cheap, fly-by-night films with threadbare scripts, laughable special effects, excessive amounts of violence, and C to D-list celebrities needing lunch money.
And then there's their long catalog of mockbusters. Cheap, fly-by-night films with threadbare scripts, laughable special effects, excessive amounts of violence, and C to D-list celebrities needing lunch money. Only these have a kinda, sorta similarity to some other movies that just so happen to be coming out in theaters at about the same time as the Asylum's efforts, which is purely coincidental.
Despite the fact that you're never going to see these at a multiplex, they've basically taken on the mighty task championed so long ago by early cinema standbys Roger Corman and Burt I. Gordon, making the cinematic equivalent of processed meat byproduct. No, seriously, that's their stated goal. They're not trying to make good movies. They're not trying to make bad movies. They're just making product for Sci-Fi Channel and Netflix to fill space with.
There's really no other way to put this. These guys have successfully monetized not giving a Reportedly, they've never lost money on a film. And once you watch any one of them, you quickly understand why. You're almost always assured some high-grade cheese, and there may be no better example of this than the movie that we've picked today, the one that straddles a line between their two wheelhouses, Mega Piranha!
Nice font. Why didn't you just use Comic Sans and get it over with?
Now this here is a well-known cinematography effect known as filming through a used tea bag. They use it throughout the entire picture. Hey, guess whose history in this scene?
The piranha are pantsing him!
Yeah, in case you forgot. I mean, it has been all of 2 minutes since we last put the title on screen.
Get used to this river. We're going to be seeing a lot of it. Is this our hero?
Nope.
Is he a major character?
Nope.
Are they going to do this for just about everyone?
Yup. See?
Ugh.
Big guy and naked chicks? Hey, Starch, guess whose history in it?
Them.
Aww.
That's a threat. No, it's a reality.
I thought you bought us in to watch the sunrise. This is no fun.
Ah, the famous Venezuelan midday sunrise.
They just forgot to add the day for night filter. Don't worry, they'll make up for that a lot later on.
Against the background of bare breasts, there's some meandering scraps of plot floating around involving some trade agreement. This is all mainly an excuse to have an American protagonist, but really, we're here for the carnage, so let's begin!
What the hell is going on here? What the hell is that?
Attacked by a Billy Bass.
These people are clearly throwing themselves into the water willingly. They want out of the film that bad. Here, eat me! I'm delicious! First piranha, now swimming termites.
So, not the Los Angeles in Zimbabwe.
We get introduced to our protagonist, Fitch, a steely, determined slab of chuck roast played by Paul Logan, also known as that guy you get when Bruce Campbell is too expensive.
And when Adam Baldwin is too busy.
And just so you know, he's also the fight choreographer for this movie too. Always a good sign!
Oldie McExposition says that the locals think the boat with the American ambassador was blown up by terrorists. Wait, how'd they determine it was blown up? At any rate, the Americans think that it's an anti-American insurgent group, and one boat of dead diplomats and strippers is going to make for another Afghanistan, if not dealt with right away. So, Special Agent Stud Griplock is on the case!
We're close. Very close.
Recognize her? No? Not surprised. Our female lead is former 80s teeny bopper pop star Tiffany, pretending to be the world's most disinterested scientist.
Well, I gotta say she's aged well. She brings a quiet dignity to this role. A performance that says, my residual checks from the record label barely covered the gas to this shoot.
We need to get a piece of that debris to the lab immediately.
And they leap into action! Exciting. Using science! Our scientists determine that they are growing at a rate unheard of outside of a Corman movie, and bicker over why the local authorities, led by one Colonel Diaz, are doing nothing. The dialogue goes out of its way to not say that it's killer fish responsible. Guys, even if you hadn't shown us 2 piranha attacks before this scene, the movie is called Mega Piranha. Stop fishing for suspense. You really kind of blew that wad already. Mind you, that's not all the scene doesn't tell us.
Look, it is imperative. All river traffic must be stopped.
I've already told Colonel Diaz. He won't listen.
All he cares about is keeping people out of that jungle.
And you know why.
I'm glad he does, 'cause we never do. No, really, we go this entire movie, and this little conspiracy they talk about with Diaz never pays out. Keep this in mind as we move forward. I think at least half this movie's runtime is quick-cut stock footage. At any rate, Grunt Chunt Muscle arrives to bring the America.
Boy, those signs sure have convinced me that this is Venezuela, and not just the California warehouse district.
He's somehow intercepted by Dr. Tiffany, who's got someone behind her pressing the karate chop action button on her back.
Please stop. My name is Sarah Monroe. I'm a genetics professor from UCLA.
I've been working with the ISFRP for the last 2 years on a hydrobiological experiment.
Hydrobiological? What's that have to do?
We increase the local food supply by genetically redesigning certain species of fish to make them more robust.
I was in charge of the Cerasselmas, more commonly known as Piranha.
And of course, piranhas were your first choice to do this with. Really? Who eats piranhas?
I say, did someone have a question relating to science?
Dr. Why?
That's right. I overheard your conversation and feel the need to point out that in South America, the piranha is in fact sometimes used as a foodstuff.
But aren't they deadly killers?
Ah yes, they're fearsome reputation. As it turns out, this is one of those things that are technically true, yet exaggerated wildly. A large school of piranha actually can skeletonize a cow in under 2 minutes, but the circumstances under which this will happen are quite rare and in fact require human intervention. Most species of piranha are scavengers, feeding on dead animals that fall in the water. Many subsist solely on taking small nips out of other fish, wounds easily survived and healed. They rarely attack larger creatures unless they're facing starvation, and even then they're as likely to turn on each other first. Piranha attacks on humans rarely amount to more than a minor injury, and usually out of self-defense. As for their reputation, in 1913 the government of Brazil was expecting a visit from one President Theodore Roosevelt. And as we all know, if Teddy Roosevelt is coming to see you, you'd jolly well better have something impressive to show him. In fact, when I met Teddy, I had to take him to see Super Jupiter. That's right, regular Jupiter just couldn't cut the mustard. So, the government decided to impress upon Roosevelt, an avid naturalist and hunter, just what piranha were capable of. They trapped hundreds of piranha in shallows, and over the next few days starved them just shy of turning on each other. So when Roosevelt came, they had a ravenous pack of piranha, far hungrier than they would be normally, and far more of them than you would find in such a small place. In went the cow, out came the bones. Teddy's experience was relayed to the outside world, and thus the piranha gained its artificially inflated reputation as a deadly menace to anything that moves in the water. But do bear in mind that none of this excuses the movie's incredibly stupid plan for using piranhas as test subjects for mutant meat growth. They are considered dangerous, and as far as meat fish go, there are numerous far, far better suited food fishes to be found throughout Venezuela.
Wow! Thanks, Dr. Why?
You're welcome, lads. Now, I must be off to fight an army of murderous wetbacks on the planet Huvak.
I feel smarter now.
Oh, don't worry, this movie will put a quick stop to that. By the way, keep an eye on the sign in the background.
Diaz thinks I'm crazy. Here, take my card. Come to the lab and see for yourself. It's a piece of the hull. Maybe you can convince Diaz better than I have.
How does that even happen?
No f***s given. One seizure-inducing vacation footage montage later, we arrive at the military base. Oh god, let's see that again! I just can't do this anymore.
We're finally introduced to our non-Piscine villain, Colonel Diaz. He gets all cagey and nasty when Loaf Gristlebasket suggests an animal attack did the boat in, but he agrees to take him to the site in a helicopter. By the way, get used to this view whenever a helicopter is involved.
Also, get used to this helicopter. They bought one CG model, and damn it, they're gonna get their money's worth.
El río Orinoco es muy primitivo. Tierra de violencia.
A land of violence, death, and death. So there's extra death?
Land of violence, Mr. Fitch. Piranhas eat your flesh. Hulk Steakhouse is not happy with Diaz's refusal to let him dive, so he sneaks out of the base full of Venezuelan soldiers who are wearing American uniforms.
Man, these clowns make the Metal Gear Solid bad guys look eagle-eyed. After that, Squat Stud Thrust rents a boat from Stevie Wonder so he can investigate the river on his terms. And for those of you who thought Michael Bay was lousy at geography, here's a scene you'll just love.
What is going on down there? They just pulled me out of a meeting. Colonel Diaz has asked me to remove you from the case and he wants you gone by this afternoon.
There's something going on with Colonel Diaz, but it has nothing to do with that boat disappearance.
Smack Fishbait is calling from Venezuela, which is in the Atlantic Standard Time Zone, and it's clearly in the middle of the day according to the prior scenes. He's talking to Oldie McExposition, who is in Washington, D.C., in the Eastern Standard Time Zone, 1 hour behind Atlantic Standard, where it's dark. Like, late at night dark. You never disappoint, Mega Piranha. Upon diving in... Wait. Pause right now. That's coral. This is the floor of the ocean.
While exploring the boat wreckage, Dirk Muskox gets in a knife fight with a growling piranha, which can somehow instantly back up, and he escapes by slightly injuring it, which draws even more ravenous fish to the area. And cue the play fight with a rubber prop!
What the fuck?
Our hero returns to the boat with a fake fish carcass and calls his boss.
Hello.
I figured it out.
You did?
It wasn't an explosion, and it wasn't terrorists.
What was it?
It was giant piranha.
The fuck?
Yes, sir. Giant piranha.
That's stupid.
I know.
You're paying an account when you get back.
I will. I'll keep you informed, sir.
Fish prop in hand, he shows his catch to Colonel Diaz, then takes it to the scientists.
This thing's incredible.
It looks completely different from the CG model that actually attacked you.
Long exposition short. Using anything practical to kill the fish is ruled out because it might mutate them further or end the movie too soon, so the plan is made to dam up and drain the area. It's established that otherwise the piranha will swim upstream and eventually start killing Americans. The worst possible thing ever.
I think you better see this. This specimen has at least half a dozen new organs. Look, 2 hearts, triple thick skin, and it's a hermaphrodite. It breeds on its own.
Hermaphrodites do not work that way. Good night!
Actually, nothing works that way. Spontaneously generating extra organs? It's not something that just happens. That has to be by design. You know what? I think Dr. Tiffany is the real villain here. Really, she sounds really smug as she's going over that list of mutations.
Sound action would only shorten the film, so Diaz takes to air at night to spend millions of dollars worth of ammunition on what is essentially dynamite fishing.
Hunting from the air with automatic weapons. Now that's a sport!
This sequence is stretched out amazingly thanks to the heavy use of recycled footage. This is a perfect illustration of how the Asylum stays under budget. For example, they only paid for the creation of a single muzzle flash. I am impressed.
We're 27 minutes into a 90-minute film, so of course this only makes the situation worse, and because action scenes are expensive, we've got some more pouting and posturing to fill time.
Good. Let's close this case. The Venezuelan government is not happy, and there's talk about closing that laboratory and arresting every one of those scientists.
I got no problems with that.
That's crazy. Those scientists were trying to help us.
Oh, yeah, sure. Everyone says that genetically bloated killer mutant fish will solve all of mankind's ills, but when somebody actually grows a spine and does it, suddenly they're the jerks.
Diaz and his men arrest Dr. Tiffany, and Bulk Rut Whistle pulls a Batman and vanishes when everyone looks the other way. All this leads into an interrogation scene where it's revealed for the hojillionth time that Dr. Tiffany's experiments are illegal and that Diaz might be doing something bad that is never elaborated on in clear language. Maybe if we act surprised, the movie will move on to a new plot point.
But Snap Crackle Pop defies international law to rescue them, and then it gets real.
Real dumb!
Piranha. Okay, shh. Just relax. You're gonna be okay.
Whoa.
That just happened.
Glorious! Oh, wow! I didn't even know I had that feature!
They're gonna be trapped. They're not gonna get away this time.
Our cast literally gets thinner and Dr. Tiffany lets her true self shine.
We've got to follow the piranha right down to the river and find anyone to kill them and bomb them! I just want to kill them all!
So, according to Dr. Tiffany's magic Game Boy, the fish are headed to the ocean where they'll just stop because they can't breathe in salt water. A passing U.S. destroyer will blow them up when Stag Iron Droid sends an SOS, so it looks all kosher when a U.S. cruise ship launches about a bazillion Hellfire missiles at the Venezuelan coast.
Maybe that way we can avoid starting World War III.
With Venezuela? I'm not the most politically savvy person, but, since when did they become a superpower?
Ugh, let's save you some time. There's a car chase, in the sense that Diaz and Thwomp Beefwit are both driving at reasonable speeds in vaguely the same direction sometimes. Don't even try to keep track of the geography, you'll only hurt yourself. Speaking of hurting yourself, enjoy the hilariously awful CGI helicopter they ram into these shots.
You know, maybe Diaz could catch him if he didn't stop to change vehicles every couple of minutes.
The chase ends up on foot in what is clearly an arboretum, and then we get this.
SOS, repeat, SOS. Damn it, the battery's dead.
Suck on the battery. The acid in your saliva will give you 10% extra charge.
Ah! Jim! Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. Oh, I'm okay. I'm good. Just remember, I eat Taco Bell recreationally.
Well, that's good, because you aren't getting out of this the easy way. Now back to the... You can stop sucking on the battery now, fella.
The missiles naturally fail against our new fishy overlords and, surprise, surprise, some of their new magic organs let them swim in the ocean and eat Battleships, I guess.
They're just gonna keep growing. They're just gonna keep growing, and there's nothing we can do about it.
I don't think she's having a psychotic break. I think she's... aroused.
We're told their heroes still need to get to safety, and conveniently, there are some nearby choppas for them to get to.
I don't think going to war with Venezuela will be a problem, as clearly the Venezuelan soldiers have no idea how to use the guns that they've been issued.
Colonel Diaz refuses to let the Americans get away because... And so he gives chase.
Okay, sorry. We accidentally spliced in some footage from Aqua Teen Hunger Force in there and... we didn't? Wow. I think he's having a seizure. Call a medic.
Incoming!
This moment of idiocy gives our heroes the chance to escape, but they're leaking fuel, requiring some quick thinking and jury rigging.
There's an oxygen tank.
I can use this!
No, you can't use that. This is a combustion engine. It needs to be gasoline, kerosene, anything that can burn.
Yeah, I know, I can make anything burn.
She can make oxygen burn.
I guess you'll destroy the world one way or the other.
Look, there it is.
What's that?
It's the ISB military installation, Western Hemisphere.
And totally not an oil derrick with a bad Photoshop dome thing on it that vanishes in some shots. And it completely doesn't become the same processing plant that they use for Diaz's base once they land. Seriously.
The military sends a submarine armed with a nuclear torpedo to blow the fish to Kingdom Come. Impressive how the US government was able to get a Russian submarine for this mission.
Is it even worth pointing out this movie's mistakes anymore? I think we should just assume that if it's on screen, it's wrong.
So, guess what happens with the nuke? Come on, take a shot.
Any sign of life?
No, it's not possible.
Wait. Earlier in this movie, we were told that just about anything could further mutate the fish, including electricity. Now you've just hit them with atomic/nuclear energy, which is the ultimate grand poobah of fictional bullshit mutation agents for over half a century. And you don't use it to further mutate the fish? This is the only point in the movie where you show restraint? What the hell, the Asylum? We could have had bipedal, fire-breathing piranhazillas, but no!
Now, Starch, be fair. That would mean making a second CGI Piranha model.
The point is conceded.
Nom nom nom, talkie talkie talkie.
I have been authorized to order a full nuclear assault. Maybe 100 times what we just saw. Enough to disintegrate the land, everything on it. Boil up all the water in and around the Florida Panhandle.
Why? We saw what happened when the fish got too close to land in Venezuela. They committed mass suicide. Problem solved!
I was able to cut one of these things with my knife. And as soon as that thing started to bleed, all the other fish, they forgot about me and attacked the thing. Tore it to pieces. Now what if we can make those big ones bleed just like that?
Wait, whoa. Back up a second there. If that was actually true, then shouldn't the movie have been over in the first 20 minutes?
Thump Deadweight and Diaz have been killing fish left and right in this movie. Diaz's attack alone should have done enough damage for the remaining piranha to wipe themselves out, back when they were still sort of smallish. There's no way this should... Wait, why am I arguing against the plan that will end the movie? Let's get this feeding frenzy started!
The new plan is to have divers attack the fish directly in the eyes, thus spilling blood and causing them to turn on each other in the hopes of preserving Disney World. The government tries to evacuate the coastlines, claiming a hurricane is on its way, a cover story that couldn't possibly be debunked unless somebody watched the Weather Channel within the last few weeks or something.
This is the MK-15, the most powerful handheld underwater cannon in the world.
Now, to this movie's credit, there isn't a real MK-15 handheld gun in existence, so at least they're wholly making up a new gun rather than messing up a... Starch? It wasn't me! Jim, what's going on there?
Oh, jeez. Sorry, Trent. I had this on automatic. How do you adjust the sensitivity on this thing?
What was that? Sorry, we're watching Mega Piranha and... Wait a minute, I recognize that gun. Bring that back up. Wait, hold on right there. I told you, it's a Nerf Longshot CS6 by Hasbro. I don't have the part there, but they just spray painted them black. I'm impressed. Those things cost $30 at Walmart, so that's where the budget went.
This cartridge holds 20mm armor-piercing rounds. There's also another cartridge that holds high-powered...
Oh man, they didn't even try to hide the sound of plastic.
What is it?
Inside, this contains 6 frequency amplifiers. They mimic the Sarasalma's pitch for I found food. Just push the button inside to fire. In case you're trapped, the fish will follow the sound.
Oh, and the sonic vibrations will also instantly deafen everyone in the Western Hemisphere. Just an FYI. I destroy everything I touch.
True to form, the fish start killing themselves as soon as they get to the beach. And speaking of committing suicide, our seals strap on gear bought from Dick's Sporting Goods and hit the water to engage the enemy Fisho?
Here is how manly Colt Stonebud is. He can speak clearly while chewing on a rebreather.
That's it. Get your men out of there. I'm ordering a nuclear strike.
No, sir. Can't nuke the Florida Panhandle. There has to be another
Tried
option.
it your way. I am giving the order.
His jaw isn't even moving. He's doing this with his mind.
Of course, the guns are completely useless. Here's us, not being surprised. Plan 46. Shove a bomb into one of their mouths. So, Hunk Pork Nugget once again has to get to the chopper.
I'm putting together an explosive device right now.
Wait, was that a different helicopter? A real one? Oh my god!
Watch out!
Well, yes, Diaz is back, hell-bent on vague revenge, revealing the true depths of his evil by interfering with the world-saving operation despite there being absolutely no way he could know what was happening.
And of course, manly name McRunninggag's radio is conveniently not working, thus he can't be warned that he's about to be picked up by the bad guys. Pressure is on to drop the bomb, and unless Mr. McFeeny is appeased, the winter formal dance is cancelled!
We must make the strike before they get too far north. How many hours before they reach Washington?
Less than 2.
Really? Oakley dokley, the fish will go from Miami to DC in about 2 hours. These cities are roughly 1,000 miles apart straight shot. So the Piranha are traveling at 500 miles an hour. Even the shark from Jaws 4 wasn't that
Jim!
Sorry,
Gotta be kidding. There are people dying down there. I'm not kidding.
Okay, folks, we're gonna have to pause from the action here a bit because, really, Diaz has certainly been a dick throughout the film, but here's the thing. Up until this point, legally, he's been in the right. Arresting the scientist? Well, they did kind of create a deadly new species that threatens all life on the planet, so yeah, kind of justified. The car chase? Braun Rotgut did illegally assault his troops and set the prisoners free. We've had nothing but allegations as to his involvement with illegal stuff, and zero proof. I realize this story arc needs closure, but really, movie? Aside from the question as to how the hell you could even know the specifics of this operation to actually target the hero, why? What does this accomplish in light of the unstoppable piranhas that he was also trying to destroy? What's the point? Why do this? Why am I watching this? What the hell have I done with my life? Oh, help me!
Starch?
Much better now. Thank you. Let's get back to the movie.
I got nothing, folks. Can't make that funnier than it already is.
Your fish food!
Our hero, everyone, using a potentially world-saving device in order to enact petty revenge.
For once, a piranha does not actually consume the thing it attacked and just carries the chopper around in its mouth. Weird. This gives Peck Steelbone a chance to blow it up, decapitating the fish. Because a helicopter explosion is far more powerful than a nuclear bomb!
I can't believe it! It's a feeding frenzy down here!
They're tearing each other apart.
Yeah, more like they're actually just nudging that one carcass over and over again and not attacking each other, since only one fish was injured. But we gotta get this thing wrapped up somehow in a way that makes Pulp Studmuffin out to be the hero, so just go with it. Cue dramatically overwrought cliché ending sequence. You know the words, kids. Sing along! Sunset, check. Ground crew who stood by doing nothing, check. Leading away the injured teammate, check. The dramatic slow-mo of our main character, check. And the kiss. Oh, no, oh.
And yes, because the filmmaker's understanding of chemistry is as limited as their understanding of genetics, it turns out Pump Sex Farm and Dr. Tiffany are attracted to each other at the climax of this film. Mega Piranha, everyone. What can you say?
I can say that this movie is hilarious. This movie feels like it was written by a kid just on the cusp of puberty, trying to be badass in a really childish way. The Piranha's list of mutations reads like an Axe Cop comic, and thus it is amazingly, gut-bustingly bad, in a bizarrely charming way.
And for those of you with amazing constitutions and iron stomachs, this movie also provides one hell of a drinking game. Take a shot every time you catch recycled footage. We promise they'll be pumping your stomach and fighting for your life before the battleship even shows up. There are a few non-hilarious flaws, though. The Venezuelan military bits actually make me a little uncomfortable. They're basically portrayed as evil assholes just for the sake of being evil assholes. The Venezuelan troops are just American-hating murderers because they're foreign?
Yeah, chalk it up to the general America mentality most of this kind of movie reeks of, only with the Asylum's special blend of having negative f***s to give. So, in the end, is the movie good? Hell no. Is it worth watching? Hell yeah. It plays out like a parody of an action movie, but does it earnestly. Asylum films can really vary in how entertainingly bad they are, but this one ranks way up there for sheer number of unintentional laughs.
Make sure you have a friend on hand to help you through all the dull bits, and you're in for a fun, bad movie night. Believe me, we barely scratched the surface of all the unintentional hilarity in this film, and it is unintentional. Otherwise, the Asylum would have to have been packed with Andy Kaufman-like comic geniuses. This review could have easily lasted longer than the actual movie. So, was it worth it? I picked this up at Walmart for $5, and it came with 5 other stupid monster movies, including 2 others from the Asylum. Mega Piranha's share of that DVD came to 83 cents. So yeah, I say I got my money's worth.
Oh yeah, big time. If you see the set, buy it. Mega Piranha alone is worth the $5 in so bad it's good value. There's another couple Asylum movies in there to boot.
Yeah, Jim, you were right. This has actually been pretty fun. It's been kind of nice reviewing movies we like as of late.
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
Jim.
Fish heads, roly-poly fish heads, eat them up
Hey Pipples, if you liked our nonsense, want to give us a like, or a subscribe, or leave a comment down there somewhere.
You can also do us a big solid by joining our Patreon, where you'll get to join us for live streams, get early access to the newest videos, and other such things.
Geek Vision.